Hello friends and welcome. This tutorial will show you how to make flexible leather scale armor, which is a super easy project that looks great and will continue to fill out your fantasy armor suit. And as a bonus, it's also perfect for reducing scrap veg tan leather. Before we get going, I want to let you know about PrinceArmoryAcademy.com. You can still get the patterns at PrinceArmory.com, and the videos will continue to be posted on YouTube. But now the videos for past and future tutorials will also be hosted on the new site and split into more manageable chapters along with captions pulled from the videos, so following along as you craft will be easier. There's more to come, but all of the current tutorials are already up now. This tutorial was made with support from Weaver Leather. Many of the tools, materials, and leather used in this video can easily be found on their website. They have everything you need from beginner to advanced. They also have many hardware options that are otherwise difficult to find, like the solid black rivets and buckles that I use all the time. I'll leave a link below, so the next time you need to stock up, head on over to their website and browse their great selection of top quality tools, leather, and hardware, or give them a call, and they'll be happy to help you out. This pattern will give you two pre-made options for front and back scale skirting pieces, but you can also get creative and expand on the design and use it in other ways other than the skirting. The trick to making this as fast as possible is to use a strap-in punch to make the scales. This also gives you flexibility over the size of the scales too. These come in various sizes and vary across manufacturers. They're often designed a little oversized, so make sure to measure the punch first. The pattern by default accommodates a 1-inch scale width, which I think will be an ideal size for most of you. You can use a round end punch if you prefer a less pointy look. It'll look more like fish scales, which can be a cool effect too. You can get creative and change the scales if you'd like. You could tool in a border, add studs or other hardware, or even laser cut fancier scales. I'm just showing you the fast and easy option here as a foundation that you can build upon. In my case, I'm using an 1.25" CS Osborne English point strap-in punch that measures 1.35 inches at the widest part. The top of the backing piece will fold over to make a loop, so the piece can be worn via a strap, which we'll go over later. There have been some questions on how to print and scale some of the previous patterns, so I'll just show you real quick. I use Foxit PDF Reader, which is free, but the process should be similar for other readers. When you go to print, the main thing you're looking for is the Tile Large Pages option. You don't really need the labels, but you can check the cut marks option if you'd like. For this project, you can probably just ignore most of the other options, but on some of the other patterns, you may want to toggle the Auto Center option and change the orientation just to have a little more control over how the print will look. The preview gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect when printing. I'm entering 135% to match the end punch that I selected. Then I'll hit OK. When you print out the pattern, trim the margin away and use some tape to join the pages. The process of cutting out the scales is rather straightforward. Just take your trusty Mjolnir and make your first cut. Flip the punch, butt the edges against the previous cut, and repeat. Continue until you finish or your arms fall off. Also note, you don't have to use a beefcake hammer for this. I actually switched up to my medium weight maul halfway through. Another thing that makes this process easier is a sturdy work surface. If you have a lot of bounce when punching the scales, consider working on the corner of your bench over a supporting leg. You'll need one hole at the top of each scale. When you have the scales cut out, you'll have the option to wet mold them and dye them and decorate them however you want. If you want a little shape on the scales like mine, you can dish them slightly with your fingers or over a small dome. You can also save a step and shape these during the dye or sheen process as well as you're setting them to dry, or you can leave them flat, it's up to you. You can save even more time if you dip dye or dip finish them as shown here as well. For the dye, I'm using Fiebing's Red Pro Oil Dye, and for the finish, I'm using Weaver's Clear Tough Coat. Keep in mind, you don't have to use the full width or length of the pattern. You can trim away evenly from the sides or the bottom. Or if you wish, you can make the panels larger too. Just use the grid pattern to make sure everything lines up. The backing, which I generally refer to as the grid, can be any sort of supple leather. I'm using some chrome tan leather I've had on hand in the shop for a while. I believe it was bull hide, and it's pretty heavy duty but still supple. Something lightweight is also fine because it only has to support the weight of a handful of leather scales. You can trace and cut out the grid first if you'd like, but in my case I'm taping the pattern down and driving the holes first. Each pattern notes the number of scales you will need, but it also has a few extra grayed out markings in case you want to add more scales higher up. They shouldn't be necessary though, since the top portion should mostly be covered by the breastplate and tassets, but they are there if you need them. Then I'll line up and flip the pattern and punch the holes for the other half. When I finish punching out the holes, I'll cut out the grid. You can use a straight edge to assist in this. If you're making the front piece, you'll trim out the slot for the buckle. When you're ready to attach the rivets, you'll need to decide which side you want to use. It's up to your preference, but I like to have the smooth finish side facing inwards when possible. Just go row by row, working your way up. I'm using Weaver's black double-capped rivets in medium for most of the assembly. But if you are using a really thin leather, you might want to go for small rivets. You can use a setter, but I'm just setting them flat with a hammer. When you get to the top row, switch to the next size up in rivets and fold the top over on itself when attaching the top scales. This will create a loop that will let you run a strap through and you can wear it easily. In order to wear the skirt, whether you just want the front, back, or both, they are designed to accommodate up to a 1-inch strap that can be worn around the waist. To make the strap, I'm just cutting a 1-inch strip from some supple pre-dyed leather and a 1-inch buckle from Weaver. This one has a double center bar for faster assembly. For sizing, just measure your waist where you want it to sit. Just make sure to give yourself enough adjustment to position it where you'd like. It is also possible to permanently attach the skirting to the armor, but I usually prefer more modularity, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Well, here's one more piece finished to add to your armor collection. We're getting close to having a full head-to-toe suit. The legs will be coming soon, and probably a 2-part tutorial for that, and the gauntlets will be coming soon as well. Hope everyone is staying safe given the state of things. At least it's a good time to work on making stuff at home. Thanks for coming along on this tutorial. Take care, and I'll see you next time.